As we all know, the flight simulation hardware market is extremely expensive and can cost thousands of dollars just to make a simple home cockpit. But here's how I built an A320 home cockpit for only $1,000. This will be part 1 of the series where I go over all of the components of my home cockpit and how you can build one too. Today's video is part 1 of the series where I discuss and go through everything. I will not be going over the very small details, but I will essentially show you and tell you how everything works and how you can get this to work for yourself also. This home cockpit was quite simple to build, and the main piece of it is 12mm or 1/2-inch plywood. This plywood is cheap and effective, so it's really what made my cockpit come to life. Starting off with the side stick pedestal. The pedestal itself is made out of 3/4-inch plywood and features the side stick, and soon I will be getting a tiller. The foundation of the pedestal is put together with L brackets and nails. This surprisingly holds it up really well, and it feels extremely sturdy when I'm using it, and it was very simple to design and create. The wood itself was reasonably cheap. This piece cost me about $40 USD, and in my opinion looks really nice. In addition to the foundation, I cut out a hole on the top for the TCA side stick, where I also put a gator. That is essentially that blue rubber piece at the base of the side stick. It really gives it a nice feel, some nice tension, and it makes it look a lot better. On the side of the pedestal, I did put a folder where I keep all of my charts. These charts include some normal operating checklist, emergency checklist, etc., all of that stuff, and I also keep my little controller for all of the lights that go on the glare shield. I do plan on acquiring some acrylic leather to put on top of the pedestal to really give it that Airbus feel, which is what all Airbus aircraft have. Moving on now to the main pedestal where the radio, the throttle, my keyboard and mouse are currently being housed. The keyboard and mouse is temporary, and I'm holding it there until I get more products, so I won't actually even have to use my keyboard and mouse at all in flight. But besides that, I am using the PU Air Korea radio, which is amazing. And I have the Thrustmaster throttle and speed brake and flap quadrants. Another feature I'm using is called Liftbox. Liftbox is a mobile app that I use on an old iPad that I have, where it can display my MCDU, my FCU, my TCAS panel, you name it, it's there, and it's really helpful to fill in those missing panels that I do not have yet. Moving on now to the MIP or main instrument panel. This is where I house the PFD, ND, ECAM screens, and the AGP32 metal by Wind Control. For the PFD and ND screens, I'm using one 16-inch portable monitor. This actually works really well with Pop-Out Manager on Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I can easily display all of my instruments cleanly and effectively. The screen actually fits perfectly with the 3D printed MIP, and it looks amazing in my opinion. Moving on down to the ECAM screens. The ECAM screen is one 15.6-inch portable monitor, and this one really does fit perfectly. Again, I use Pop-Out Manager to display the 2 ECAM screens, and it is a nice, clear, and effective visual, just like the PFD and ND screens. To the right of that, I have the Wind Control AGP32 metal. This is really what makes my home cockpit shine, because this is one of the main pieces of everything. The landing gear panel itself is really realistic and features a lot of tension, which I really love, and it comes with a chrono, auto brake, terrain on ND, brake fan, anti-skid, all of that stuff, so it is really useful during flight at almost every time during the flight. To secure the MIP to the desk that we built, I used 2 bent L brackets to give it that slight bend which is featured in the real aircraft. It is surprisingly actually very sturdy, and I really like the way it supports everything. Securing the monitors was also quite simple. I made a small little wooden base at the very bottom of the monitors and secured the top and sides with L brackets. They don't move at all, and it really makes it flush with the wood. The platform for the glare shield is exactly the same. I used L brackets to support everything, and it is also very sturdy and looks nice. It is very difficult to notice all the L brackets I have in place because they are all painted and most of them are actually hidden. So again, in my opinion, it looks very nice and realistic. The main showpiece of this home cockpit is actually our DIY overhead panel. This is basically a compact version of the Airbus A320 overhead panel and features all the necessary push-button switches and functions. It is supported by one big monitor arm which is hung over the MIP at a essentially realistic height. I really love the height because it gives you that feel like you're actually reaching up for it instead of easily pressing the buttons, and it just adds another sense of realism. And show when a designated light is on, and all the switches, toggle buttons, and everything work as intended using MobiFlight. I really appreciate MobiFlight because it has presets for almost everything, and you can program essentially everything in an Airbus A320. As you can see, all of the designated lights turn on when they need to, and all of the switches work as intended. This means I do not have to use my mouse once during flight, which is amazing for realism, and it really gives you a sense that you're actually flying the aircraft. It is a great trainer, even for if you're studying Airbus aircraft in real life. This is a great trainer so you can learn things easier. This is part 1 of the series, and I will continue the series next with pricing. The next video will go deep dive into everything, what their exact price is, and how much you're actually going to spend on this project. Continuing the series will be how to build certain aspects of the project and how it came together step by step. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and please consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel. Thank you for watching.